I used to think betrayal wore a villain's face, dark eyes, sly smiles, late-night whispers in parking lots. What I never expected was that it could come dressed in silk blouses and worn in yoga pants, tucked into the creases of a life I'd built with someone I loved. My name's Derek. If you asked anyone who knew me a year ago, they'd say I had it all. 2 loving parents who still danced in the kitchen after dinner. A job that made me feel like I mattered. And most of all, Madison, my wife of 4 years. She was the kind of woman who lit up a room before even stepping into it. A powerhouse attorney, smart as a whip, funny in a dry, unexpected way. She could argue circles around you, then kiss you like you were the only person left on earth. Our life together wasn't just good, it felt scripted, like a movie that knew exactly where it was going. We'd renovated our tiny starter condo into a magazine-worthy space with exposed brick and quirky color palettes. We'd built traditions, Sunday waffles, late-night wine after her depositions, long walks even in the dead of winter. Sure, her job kept her late sometimes, but I chalked it up to ambition. She was climbing the legal ladder, and I was proud. Last spring, everything still looked perfect from the outside. But something in her had started to feel off, like the light had dimmed behind her eyes. I'd catch her staring into space during dinner or checking her phone like she was waiting for something or someone. I asked once, gently, over coffee. She smiled and said she was just buried in work. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? To cheer her up, I did what any love-struck husband would. I left flowers at her office, cooked her favorite pasta, planned little weekend getaways. But it felt like trying to tune a radio that was stuck between stations. The song was there, but it didn't sound right anymore. Then came the dinner. She suggested we dress up and go to Matteo's, our spot, where the jazz played low and the lights made everything glow amber. We sat in a corner booth, and halfway through her meal, she looked at me with tears and trembling fingers and said, "I'm pregnant." Time stopped. I jumped out of my seat, hugged her, spun her like we were on a game show. A baby. Our baby. I pictured tiny sneakers, messy birthday parties, crayon drawings taped to the fridge. Suddenly her distant mood made sense. She'd been trying to find the perfect way to tell me. Madison worked until her 3rd trimester before trading courtroom heels for house slippers. Our son, Caleb, arrived with my eyes and her chin, all 10 fingers and a tiny lion's roar of a cry. Her mom, Sharon, moved in to help with the nights, and I picked up extra freelance jobs to handle the diaper bills. We were tired, yes, but happy. Or so I thought. On Caleb's 1st birthday, after everyone had left and the frosting had been wiped off the walls, Madison hugged me tight and said she needed to talk. She wanted to return to work. Full-time. Now. It hit me like a punch. We'd agreed she'd stay home until Caleb was at least 3. Her idea, not mine. But she insisted, said if she didn't go back now, someone else would take her seat. And in her world, power once lost is rarely returned. The arguments began then, real ones. The kind that leave silence between words for days. She started going into the office a couple days a week, then 3, then 5. Sharon watched Caleb more than we did. The air between Madison and me grew colder, wider. Then one Tuesday night, everything broke. Caleb had just fallen asleep in his dinosaur pajamas, snuggled between us. Madison was showering, and her phone buzzed on the nightstand. I glanced, intending to silence it. One message previewed, "Tomorrow swing by early. I want to take you somewhere special." My heart sank like a stone in cold water. I didn't want to believe it, but I couldn't ignore it, either. I let the night pass. She slipped out early the next morning, cheerful kiss on my cheek, unaware that my entire world had tilted. I met her for lunch outside her office, pretending like I just missed her. She showed up in her usual power casual look, polished, untouchable. But her smile faltered when she saw my face. I went straight in. "Who's been inviting you somewhere special, Madison?" She froze. The world seemed to fall silent around us. Then, after a long pause, she looked down. There was someone, before the pregnancy. I ended it when I found out. But we started talking again. And now, we're back together. My breath left my body. Like I'd been hit in the gut. "So, what? Caleb was your restart button?" A patch. She looked ashamed but didn't deny it. I thought motherhood would change how I felt. But it didn't. Anne. I think you should keep Caleb full-time. I couldn't believe it. He's our son, not a schedule problem. I know, she said quietly. But he deserves more than I can give him right now. I walked away that day with tears in my eyes and a burning in my chest I still can't quite explain. I filed for custody. She signed. No fight. No drama. Just walked away. The house was quieter without her. But also warmer. Happier. I built a routine for Caleb and me. Daycare runs. Pancake Saturdays. Dance parties in the kitchen to classic rock. My parents became Sunday regulars. Even Sharon still stopped by with casseroles and toys. Madison would visit for an hour now and then, smiling like a guest instead of a mother. Caleb would show her his finger paintings, then run right back to his blocks. He was content. And slowly, I was healing. Sometimes I think about the life I lost. The highlight reel I'd imagined with Madison beside me. But I look at my son, his giggle when he sneaks an extra cookie, the way he says dada like it's the most important word in the world, and I know I've got the best part of that life still with me.